people. Hello.
We're a bit out of touch in doing this.
I know. Welcome back to the Tinker Tales channel. If you've not been here before, hello. I am Vicky and this is...
The adorable one.
Richard.
We're in a bit of a different room.
Yeah, we're in, at the minute, what was our niece's room. But it's soon going to be used for a different purpose.
Which is why we're here.
Which is why we're here, because all our other rooms are a bit of a mess at the minute. So, yes, hello. This is a vlog with a bit of a life update. Because our lives are about to change massively.
Yeah. We've not been around doing much in a long time, have we?
No. Well,
we had the Alaska vlog.
We had the Alaska vlogs, but those finished quite a while ago. And we've not really done anything since, or done any chatty vlogs or anything. Because we've been a bit busy. So, if you have followed along with this channel for quite a long time, you'll know that we are childless adults. I've
What is it, Dinks? Double income, no kids.
Double income, no kids. You may also know about my medical history and that I can't have kids. You know, we have talked about that in various vlogs before. So we made the decision, don't look at me like that. We made a decision a long time ago, a very long time ago, that we wanted to adopt. Because we can't have kids naturally. We looked at IVF, none of that was possible for many different reasons. So we kind of always known that we wanted to adopt kids at some point. We just never quite got to that some point.
And then we moved to Wales and bought a big 4-bedroom house for the idea of having kids.
Yeah.
So it's about time we did.
Yeah. So this is our adoption journey so far, isn't it?
We will caveat it, we have just come back from meeting, within hopefully 4 weeks.
Will be our children.
Will be our children.
But we'll go way back, because I know a lot of people ask us about adoption and how it works and everything you have to go through. So we thought we might have we could talk for hours about it, we really could, but we're going to try and keep this as succinct as possible, which, if you know our vlogs, not always that possible.
Grab a couple of drinks.
Yeah, grab some coffees, a couple of biscuits. We might be here a while, kids. Yeah, so let's go right back to the start. Basically, I just one day was like, enough's enough. We've waited long enough. Let's just start this process.
I think I come home from work.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've done a thing.
Done a thing.
Where are we off to?
Yeah, I hadn't booked a trip. I had sent off a expression of interest form to an adoption charity. So we have gone through Barnardo's, which is a children's charity you might have heard of, but they also deal with adoption. So I sent off an inquiry form to Barnardo's Wales, just to see what the process would be, how we get started, that kind of thing. And it was just coming out of COVID, wasn't it?
Well, no, we've come back from the January 2022 trip.
No, it was 2023 I sent it off. I think it was like, yeah, it was sort of start to mid 2023. Yeah. I sent off the inquiry form. And within like a couple of weeks, we'd had loads of information sent through. We'd had a couple of phone calls. And then what we did was a virtual kind of walkthrough of our house with Ellie, one of the social workers. Yeah. Just to see if, you know, they thought our house was suitable for children and, you know, to have a chat with us.
Yeah, give them an idea of what space we had to do,
yeah,
what they could look at, what options there would be.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we got invited to what's called stage 1. So adoption has many stages. So stage 1 is basically the paperwork stage. Well, there's paperwork at every stage, but it is like the heavy paperwork stage.
And it was on us.
And yeah, it was all for us to do. So once Ellie had said she was happy for us to go to stage 1, we got sent an email with just form upon form upon form upon form. And you can do that stage, you can progress through that stage very quickly. They said it shouldn't take you any longer than 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
it took us a lot longer.
There was lots of, like, even this, like, not simple stuff, but like doctor's appointments. There was lots of forms about us, our family trees.
Yeah,
History,
basically they
right
need
up
to
on
know
us.
everything, absolutely everything about you, your family, anyone who's going to be in your
Contact
support
with your
network,
family.
who's going to come into contact with the kids. We had to have medicals, we had to do financial checks, we had to do criminal record checks, vetting,
everything you'd expect.
Everything you'd expect. Obviously, you know, they're not just going to hand kids over to anyone. So, but we also had a lot of stuff going on with our families at the same time. My mum suffered a major stroke, which I've spoken about before. Your mum wasn't very well, your sister wasn't very well. Yeah. So we had a lot going on. So it took us...
Some of the forms, there's one form and it was just very frustrating, wasn't it? Like,
yeah.
What does your morning routine look like now? What will your morning routine look like when you have kids?
Yeah, there was lots of sort of, you know... hypothetical things, like, you know, how will you manage this situation? What time will you get kids up? What time will you feed them? What will you feed them? How? Yeah, and we're like, we have no idea.
It depends on what kids we have.
We don't know if we're having 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, if they're going to be babies, if they're going to be 6, we don't know. So yeah, it took us the best part of a year, I think, didn't it, to get through that stage.
For about 8, 9 months.
Yeah, well, which is the best part of a year.
Yeah. But it was just a slog to sort of sit down. Whatever was going on,
yeah,
sit down
we had so much going on. And I was going up and down to London to see my mum and stuff, and there was just so much going on. So
and we were on different shifts at work.
It took us a long time to get that done. But we did. We got it done. It all was fine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we got invited onto stage 2. Stage 2 is what you would kind of, when you see things on telly or you read about adoption, stage 2 is kind of what you would picture as the adoption assessment.
When was the training? Training was before stage 2?
Training was before stage 2, yeah. We had to go for, I forgot about that,
3 days.
We had to do a 3-day training course on preparation to adopt, which was online, and was...
done after night shifts.
That was a slog to get through. But it was interesting. It gave us a lot to think about. And it was really good. And the good thing about Barnardo's is they do run loads of different training courses. So that you can, you know, and they're all free. Things like therapeutic parenting, transitions, loads of stuff. So that's one of the really good things about being with Barnardo's is they do a lot to help you out. Yeah. So anyway, moving on to stage 2. Stage 2 is where you basically have a social worker coming to your house multiple times. And the problem we had was we obviously live in North Wales. Barnardo's Wales is based in South Wales. So Steph, our social worker, lived in South Wales. So normally where you'd have these meetings like once a week, you'd have
once a fortnight.
Once a week, once a fortnight, you'd have an hour session, and you know, over the period of like maybe 2 months. Because she was having to travel up from South Wales, we were having everything condensed. So we were having 2 sessions a week, at 2 hours a time.
And it was all done before our Alaska holiday.
Yeah, and it was all trying to get it in before we went to Alaska in September.
Because our social worker was pregnant, so she was going off on maternity.
She was going to go off on maternity leave.
There was a lot
to cram in. And these sessions are hard.
Heavy.
They're very heavy going, because basically they want to know absolutely everything about your life, and you know, any trauma that you've experienced, your childhood experiences, everything, your family, your medical stuff, honestly, and they delve into everything and they question everything and they make you think about so much stuff. It was like therapy without actually therapy.
And you're constantly on edge thinking 3 or 4 questions.
Yeah.
If I say this, where's she going to go with that?
Yeah, you don't want to say the wrong thing, so you're always on edge. It was...
And despite being reassured, there was no
wrong answer. I was like, I'm pretty sure there's a wrong answer. But yeah, it was hard. I mean, Steph, our social worker, she was lovely. Yeah. She really was lovely. But it was really, really hard going for a couple of months there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, yeah. And
it was just draining.
It was. Every time Steph would leave, we'd just be like, oh, gosh. And then, sometimes we'd have sessions where it would just be me, and then you'd go in and be like, what did you say? What did she ask you? What did you say? And they have to go and speak to your families as well. So anyone that you put down as part of your support network and your references, Steph would speak to them for like an hour or so, wouldn't she? So it's a lot. Like, honestly, it's a hard process. I mean, people say it's a hard process. Until you go through it, you can't appreciate how difficult it is.
I think that's been the hardest part.
Yeah.
Because it's just constantly not knowing. And if you ever sat in a room and someone's writing down everything you say.
Yeah. And
you can just see a pen going.
Yeah, you're not sure if they're misinterpreting you or if you're saying something completely wrong.
Or if you're coming across the right way.
Yeah.
We're a bit daft.
Yeah, well...
I wasn't in that point. I was...
He likes to say some stupid things that come out of his mouth without thinking.
I didn't know. I was well paid.
But yeah, it was hard. It was hard. But...
it worked. And she did a wonderful report.
She did an amazing report. So after she's done all the assessments that she needs to do in stage 2, basically they create what's called a PAR.
Yeah.
Which is a pre-adoption report.
And that stays with us.
40 odd pages, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, basically just detailing every single detail about our lives and our pasts and all sorts.
And recommendations.
And recommendations of what ages we can adopt, how many we can adopt. So we were recommended on our PAR for up to two children.
Yep.
From the ages of 2 to 8.
Yeah.
We can adopt younger. It's just Barnardos don't approve for kids under 2. But you can, it's at social workers' discretion, isn't it? Yeah. We said we wanted preschool, was our kind of...
We thought we wanted a lot, and I'm not too sure we've ended up where we thought we'd end up.
No.
Anyway, you go round in circles.
You do go round in circles. Many times. We always said we wanted siblings, and then going through the process and the training, we were like, no, we don't want siblings. Siblings is going to be really hard. And then by the end of the process, we were like, no, we can do siblings. But anyway, so we've done stage 2, which means you get invited to panel.
And wow, that's the bit I think everyone tells you to panic. And we had some hiccups with Barnardos. It wasn't all
smooth sailing. I mean, they were great for the most part, but I think a lot of our issues that we had with Barnardos stemmed from the fact that Steph, our social worker, went on maternity a week before we went to adoption panel, which meant we got taken over by her manager, who is not the most peopleist of people persons. She's she's not the most reassuring person, put it that way, when you're panicking over whether you're going to get approved to be adopters or not.
And she's giving you loads of stuff that she thinks you're going to be grilled about, and that's really uncomfortable stuff to talk about.
Really, it was horrible. But anyway,
and asking for references from our old employer. With 4 days.
4 days before we went to panel, we got, we need this, this, this and this. I was like, what do you mean you need this, this, this and this now? You've had 2 years to get this, this, this and this. But
thankfully, we've still got some friends that
we've still got some contacts in our old job, so we managed to get that sorted. But, oh my God, that week leading up to panel was quite possibly the most stressful week of my life ever.
Yeah. Well, because we got a bit of a calmness, didn't we? We went to a coffee morning with one of their family finders, and we met other people who've been through adoption process, and they were all like,
lovely.
Really reassured us of, don't worry, panels, it's not what you build it up to in your head.
Yeah, it's fine. They wouldn't take you to panel if they didn't think you'd be approved. It's fine. You're going to be fine.
And then we got
the emails about we need this, 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 and this, or you're not going to panel. And we were like, great.
And put it into context, the time we went down to panel was when there was all the storms and the snow in November.
Yeah.
So we had to drive down to South Wales. We didn't know if panel was going to go ahead.
Yeah, and we'd already booked a hotel and stuff for 2 nights, and it was a whole drama. But anyway, we got there. We were invited to panel in November. We went down to South Wales. You don't have to go to panel.
No.
So you, as the person that they're going to approve or not, you don't actually physically have to go to panel.
It should all be done.
It should all be done beforehand in the reports and stuff. But it looks good if you do go, doesn't it, really? Because if they've got any questions, at least you're there to answer them. And especially considering our social worker had done the assessment, wasn't going to be there, and she knew us, and the social worker that was there didn't really know us.
Yeah.
We just thought we'd better go.
I don't think it was ever a question for us not going. I don't think for anyone that we spoke to, they've ever said they wouldn't go.
No, I think it's a good thing to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went down to South Wales. We went and sat in the Bernardo's office, didn't we, for a little bit?
No, because we got a phone call first, didn't we?
To
we
come
were
in
sat
early.
there all dressed up
yeah,
nice. And
we were in the Premier Inn, and our panel wasn't until 2:00 in the afternoon, and by 11:00 we were dressed, ready to go, just sort of sitting there twiddling our thumbs. But then we got a phone call asking if we could come in a bit earlier.
Get there for 1.
Get there for 1. So we were like, yep, sure.
Yep.
Jumped in the car, we went round the corner to their offices. So we went and sat in the Bernardo's office for a while, which was probably the most awkward sort of half hour of our lives, because you know that there is a room full of people talking about you just round the corner.
And we'd seen them, hadn't we? So the lady that did our training was the head of panel, and we saw her as we were walking in.
Yeah.
We saw Artie sort of sitting in there.
Yeah. But so basically, panel is a selection of people who will make this decision. So there is, a couple of social workers. There's a medical expert.
Yeah.
There's normally someone who has either been an adoptee, so an adopted child, or who has adopted. So I think it was 6 people.
I think so, yeah.
And then our social worker, Erica, who was
Erica.
acting as our social worker on the day. And there was a social worker from Bernardo's as well, Ellie.
Yeah.
So we got called in.
And we felt quite alone.
Yeah, we did feel, because Erica, our social worker, couldn't get there because of the storm. So she was on Zoom. So, we didn't really have anyone sat next to us, as our support person, like you're meant to have. So we felt very, very nervous walking in, didn't we? But we were in there for maybe 5 minutes, if that.
Yeah, because I think did they not have 20 minutes chatting, then we went in. I think we got asked 5 questions.
Yeah, so everyone on the panel has the opportunity to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah.
We got asked very basic things, which we were able to answer quite easily.
How are our parents doing?
Yeah, how's your mum? How's your mum? Because obviously they knew that they'd not been well.
Why?
Why do you want to adopt? Which is a standard question anyone who goes to a panel will get. Why do you want to adopt?
Was there a question about siblings? I think we got asked about why siblings.
We got asked about why siblings, and we got asked a bit about work, I think.
Yeah, what adoption leave and stuff.
What the adoption leave that we can get, and what we're going to do with work.
And what would we do if a child woke up at 3:00 in the morning with a fever?
Yeah, I think that was aimed at me, because I've had obviously cancer when I was a teenager and stuff. I think they were more trying to probe me as to whether I'd be triggered by a child being ill. And I was like, well, we've got 2 nieces with cystic fibrosis. Children being ill does not trigger me.
Yeah.
So, we're used to dealing with poorly children, aren't we?
Yeah.
And managing medication and stuff. So that's fine.
I think it was just fine. He just wanted to see that we weren't going to Google.
Yeah, not going to do. Yeah, they're like, oh, what would you do? We're like, well, if we don't know what's going on, we'll either phone his mum or Jay, because they're just around the corner, or we'll phone 111.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to make sure that we didn't say Dr. Google.
Yeah. I think he actually said that, didn't he?
Yeah,
good,
he said,
as long as it's not Dr. Google.
Good as long as you're not going to do Dr. Google. But yeah, so we got asked those 5 questions. Ellie didn't even really ask a question, did she?
I think we answered.
Because she was like, all my questions that I've had, you've already answered. So we were like, okay. And they did comment on how good our adoption report was.
Yeah.
That there wasn't really any questions to answer because the report was so good. Steph did such a good job. And ticked all the boxes. So. And
then we got kicked out for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got kicked out for 10 minutes. Went to sit in the reception room.
Long. To be fair, we had a guy from Bernardo's, didn't we? And even he commented on how long.
He's like, I've never actually had to come out here before. He said, oh, this is awful, isn't it? God, this is tense. And we were like, yeah.
It was a shared office space, wasn't it? So lots of different companies in one building, and
it was.
You're sitting outside in your suit and dressing your best, and
yeah, it was weird. But yeah, got called back in after about. I don't think it even was 10 minutes. I think it was probably about 5. It felt like an hour.
Yeah.
But it was probably only about 5 minutes. Sat down and they went.
Unanimous.
It was a unanimous decision that we were going to be approved to be adopters. So that was like. And they were like, yay! And then now the hard work starts. We were like, can we not just bask in this moment, please? Just for a minute. So yeah, that was it. We were approved to adopt.
Then we had to wait for the approved decision maker.
Yeah, so even though the panel have approved us, it has to go to the ADM.
Agency
Decision maker. So basically all the social workers and Erica's the big boss, has to read through everything, read through what the panel have said, and then they make the official, like, sanctioned by, in law, stampy stamp decision. And we received that. They say that can take up to 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we had it within 4 days.
We had it within 4 days. We had
it by the Friday, didn't we?
Yeah, we had the official letter. Well, it was within a week because we were approved on the 5th of December. We went to panel on the 28th of November?
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, we got the official letter to say, congratulations, you are now approved to adopt. So that's stage 2 and panel done. Then you go to family finding.
Where we work with somebody else. And who, again, is absolutely lovely.
Our family finder, Ali, is one of the best people I think I've ever met in my life. She is amazing, isn't she? Yeah. She actually came round. We met her right early on.
When we were decorating.
When we were still decorating downstairs, because they needed to see our driving licence and passports in person, and because she lives in North Wales, they just sent her around. So we met her really early on in the process, didn't we?
February
24?
24?
Yeah, we met her quite early on. But yeah, she's ace. And basically it's her job to sell us to potential social workers of, you know, children who are up for adoption. So the way it works with Barnardos is you get put on, and I can't say it, but you get put on a website basically. Can we say it? What we called it?
No.
Back in the day before the internet and technology, you would get an Argos catalogue of kids, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And social workers would get an Argos catalogue of potential adopters. That's how it works. Now it's all online. So it's
like a well-known dating app.
It's a bit like a dating app. It's what, you know, is what it is. There's no other way to talk about it because that is what it is. It's the only way. It's horrible, but it's the only way it can be done. But you get.
If you've ever looked at adopting a dog.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what the website looks like. It's awful, but
how else do you do it? It's the best way to do it.
It's the best way. It's the only way you can do it. So we basically get access to this website, and we put our profile on the website. So we basically wrote a skeleton kind of thing, didn't we? And then Ali went in and amended it.
And need to put a bit more here and
tidied it up a bit, and to put bullet points because you can only use so many words and characters and stuff. So she went in and tidied it up and made it look all fancy and shiny.
With photos.
Put some photos on there and a video of the dogs and stuff and things like that. Then
it has to be translated.
Then it had to be
translated. Going through it, we're in Wales.
Yeah, it had to be translated into Welsh, so we had to wait like a week or so for that to be done. And then we had full access to it. And basically, you just see pictures and pictures.
And a little synopsis of...
And a little synopsis of all these children. And bear in mind that we only had access to children in Wales, and I think there was 80 odd on there when we first started. It's heartbreaking. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to have to go through these profiles and look at these kids and read what they've been through.
And it's very limited details.
It is limited details, you know.
Some have got more than others.
Some of them have got loads more. Some of them have got reams of stuff written about them and loads of pictures. Some have got like a couple of sentences, haven't they? And there's sibling groups, and there's, you know, single kids, and there's sibling groups that are also on there as single kids, which, well, so yeah, there's like a group of 3 kids, but then they've got
3.
So you can adopt them as the 3, but then there's 2 of them up for adoption together and 1 on their own, and then there's another one. Oh, well, it's hard, isn't it? Yeah. It was really difficult.
I think we spent a day, didn't we, of looking. We had to look through separately.
Yeah.
And bookmarked, favorited.
Yeah, you can bookmark the children that you think might work.
To discuss more later.
More. So yeah, we went through it all, didn't we? And it's so heartbreaking because you can't adopt every child. You know, we can't help every child. And for some, you just say no to some of them, and you can't think why.
But we got told. So one of the coffee morning, I remember one of the other people who had adopted said, "You won't know why, but they'll just be the ones for you."
Yeah.
And there'll be no rhyme or reason, nothing that explains. And it was the same thing with the no's.
Yeah.
Like lots of kids on there was no reason for us to think.
No.
No.
But I mean, there was a few that you sort of looked at and like,
they're going to be very challenging.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're the right people for them with what
Yeah,
they
because
had going
that's
on.
the thing you have to think about, is as much as we want to help kids, and we may not be the best place because we do both work. We work full time, and I'm not planning on giving up work. So we need to make sure that we are going to be the best place to care for them and give them the best life that we possibly can. And sometimes we're not the right people.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to kind of learn. So we found a few, didn't we, that we liked, that we were interested in. And then what you can do is, if you're interested in a child, you can find out more about them. You basically can start a discussion with their social worker or family finder. And basically, if they look at our profile and think, oh, yeah, they could work, they'll then ask for our reports from Ali, our family finder, and we can ask for their Car B. So
only after they've read our
once they've read our part and they're happy. We're kind of sitting on one of the kids' beds. It's not
the other rooms are
other rooms are so it's not the most comfortable. If they read our report and are happy with it, we can then get access to their Car B form, which is basically the child's report. So we found one child, didn't we, that we very quickly were really interested in. She was 2, well, she was just under 2, wasn't she, when we started looking at her. And we kind of were like, oh yeah, she's the one. It's going to be the one. We're going to, yeah. And I think we went a bit too quick. Emotionally, we were just like, yeah, her, all in.
And you just see it, because she had some medical issues. Oh, well, we can help
deal with that, yeah.
We've got the nieces who go to toss regularly, so she won't feel out of place.
Yeah. And she was a beautiful little girl, wasn't she? Absolutely beautiful. But we got knocked back on that one, didn't we? Because they were already looking at a different link.
Yeah. But that took about a week. That was quite slow, but after we sent that initial request off,
we saw 2 little girls pop up. 2 sisters.
F and C.
We're not going to give their proper names because obviously we can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, they popped up. They were 4 and 18 months when they popped up, and they kind of stole our hearts a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just from looking at their pictures, and there was a little video of them on there giggling and playing, and their foster carer talking about them.
And they'd had it hard.
They'd had it very difficult start to life, a few issues going on there with behavioural speech delay, and challenging. But I can't tell you why. It makes no sense, because we said no to other kids with similar issues
or
less. Because we had quite a few social workers contacting us, didn't we? Because they can do that as well. They can look at your profile and say, please look at our children. So we had quite a lot of that as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we had to say no to quite a lot. Because apparently we're a very desirable couple when it comes to adoption. Apparently, from what we've been told by many, many, many social workers, that we are a desirable fit for many, many children, which is nice to know. But yeah, we can't tell you why these 2
shouldn't do.
They shouldn't do, because they kind of go against a lot of stuff that we said
would be difficult for us.
But we just, they just stole our hearts. So when they came back with the first girl that we were looking at and said, sorry, we're already exploring a strong match, we decided to look at these 2 girls, didn't we?
Yeah, we'd already bookmarked them, I think.
Yeah,
I think we'd asked for some more information
We'd already asked for a bit more information about them. So we shared our report with them. We got their reports.
And my God.
Oh.
It was hard.
Oh, they were hard read. Really hard. Those girls had been through so much at such a young age. It was heartbreaking. It really was. But nothing that we read about them
put us off.
It was weird.
There was lots of discussions between us 2, wasn't there?
Of what if.
What about this? How would we do that?
How would we manage this? How could we, we discussed a lot, because you have to. this is a big thing. This is not taking a dog home from the pet rescue that you can, you shouldn't, but you can take back. This is life. This is forever. So there was a lot of discussions. There was discussions with the social workers, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think we had, was it with that? So did we say that Ellie come back as our social worker?
No. So obviously we got a new social worker after panel. We got Ellie, who was in our panel anyway. We'd known since the start of the process anyway. Yeah. So she's now our social worker, taken over from Steph.
And we had about 2 hours?
2 hour.
And it wasn't meant
meeting.
to be about the girls, it was meant to be about what the processes are and what the steps are.
Yeah, but
because we've come across these girls.
Yeah, we spent 2 hours talking about the girls, and she was really impressed, wasn't she? Because she was like, every question that I've asked you, you've already talked about it. You've already discussed it. Every problem that I've thrown at you, you've already spoken about it. She was like, so that's amazing. Because we had.
Yeah.
It's all we've talked about.
And this was about the first week of Jan, wasn't it? First, second week of January was when because everything stopped. We didn't get their reports until after Christmas.
No, yeah, we got the reports after Christmas.
Because everything stopped before Christmas. And I think after the first girl, we were like, right, as much as we want to know about these two, let's leave it till after Christmas. Let's
enjoy Christmas.
Christmas without stressing and thinking about stuff. Because I don't think we told anyone, did we, that we'd found?
No, we didn't, because we told people about the first child, and then obviously that all didn't go anywhere. So we didn't want it. We wanted to keep this one to ourselves just in case it was a similar situation. So obviously we read all the reports and we were happy to still.
Again, doesn't make any sense.
No, don't know why. Don't know why. So from there, they kind of said, right, we're going to link. You go into what's called linking, basically after that, which is where it's just information sharing, isn't it? So we got reports from the older child's school. We got their medical reports, foster carers reports. Just basically a wealth of information coming our way just to make sure that we were still happy at every point.
And a lot of detail. I think more detail than we ever expected to get.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was no punches pulled with it, was it?
They didn't hold anything back. we knew we got so much information, and so this happened over a couple of weeks, isn't it? Sort of about a month, just information sharing back and forth, having chats with social workers, and then finally, their social worker and family finder came to our house. Yeah, didn't they? They had to come.
March.
Yeah, early March. They came with Ellie, our social worker.
Yeah.
Came to visit the house, have a look around, and just to have a chat, basically.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Again, about 3 hours.
About 3 hours. Really nice, easy going.
But conversational. As much as you know you're being assessed and everything else, it was all very conversational.
Yeah.
There was no curveballs, nothing.
No, nothing. It was, we got to ask questions about the girls. They got to ask a few questions about us.
We got to see some more different photos and videos.
Yeah, some more photos and videos of them. And then they left. We went out to go and get some food. We have a tradition, okay? So after every kind of adoption meeting or, pretty much any meeting that we've had at any point, we've then gone to a local carvery and got dinner afterwards because we're so exhausted. The thought of cooking, that all these things are so emotionally draining that even if it's only been an hour meeting, at the end of it, you're like... So,
but you don't realise it at the time.
No, you don't realise it. It's just
only
the adrenaline. Yeah, it's the adrenaline leaves your body, so you just get absolutely exhausted afterwards. So we always go to a local carvery and have dinner. So.
Yeah, they hadn't been gone an hour.
They hadn't been gone. We hadn't even got to the carvery.
No.
We hadn't even got to the carvery, which is only 15 minutes down the road. When we had a phone call from Ellie, our social worker, to say that they'd already phoned her and said, yes, we want to pursue a match.
As long as we're okay.
As long as we're happy, they want to pursue this match.
And to be fair, that's been every conversation, isn't it? Every conversation we've had with their social worker has been, if now you want to finish and it's not for you, that's fine.
Yeah, basically the ball is in our court.
They weren't going to stop it.
They weren't going to stop this match at all. It's down to us if we wanted to stop it at any point.
And it was always that reassuring, wasn't it? Of if it's not right, it's okay.
If at anything,
not letting anyone down.
Yeah, if at any point it doesn't feel right for you guys, you have to tell us, you have to stop it.
Or a pause, or...
Yeah, take a breath kind of thing. So there was that. No, we haven't. There was that, and then we went and met with the foster carer.
There's a few weeks between there.
There was a couple of weeks. They were on holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, so we then went and met with the foster carer, and again, the girl social workers and our social worker Ellie came, and we had about an hour and a half meeting. Again, it's just information sharing, isn't it? So we got to speak to the foster carer more about their day-to-day routines and what they're like, their characters,
challenges.
Yeah.
How much they've come on.
Yeah, how much they have improved since they first went into foster care, because they've been with their foster care for about 18, 19 months now.
Yeah.
And the amount that they've come on in that time is just unbelievable. From where they were when they were first removed to where they are now is unbelievable. The foster care has done an amazing job with them, and the school with the older one as well. Absolutely amazing. So we did that. That all went really well. You know, the foster carer made a really nice comment, didn't she?
Yeah.
You know, because we asked how she feels about the adoption, because obviously she's been with these girls for quite a long time, since one of them was really, really little. You know, and would she like to still be involved in their lives? And she said, you know, she would love to, but that's completely down to you. And she said that, you know, this is difficult. I think it's the first time she's properly gone through.
She's always had older kids.
She's always had older kids, teenagers she's fostered before. So this is the first time she's going through like the adoption kind of thing. And yeah, she said that it is difficult, and it's gonna be really sad to let the girls go. She said, but having met us, she's really comfortable that the girls are going to have the best life ever. And she's really happy to know that they're going to be going to a good home. So that was really lovely, wasn't it? Really nice. So yeah, that was a few weeks ago now, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then today.
Well, 2 weeks ago we had the doctors' meeting.
Oh yeah.
So again.
Oh yeah, another thing. There's a lot of tick
boxes.
boxes. So yeah, you have to meet with the foster carers. You have to meet with the doctors, and then we are potentially going to meet with the teachers, aren't we?
I don't know if that will happen.
But I don't know if that's going to happen.
Things
have moved really, really quickly. So that's not a necessity.
That was something we asked.
That was something we asked to maybe meet with the teachers. But jump forward to today, which is, what date is it today? 25th, 24th?
24th.
24th of April 2025. And today we met the girls. For the first time. Yeah, so we had what is called a bump-in. Some social services call it a chemistry meeting. We call it a bump-in. So it basically is an informal meeting up with the potential kids with their foster carer and their social worker. They don't know who we are.
Nope.
We were introduced as the social worker's friends who have just come along to play with them for a little while. And that Vicky and Rich come along to, you know, just wanted to come and play.
Yeah. Oh, just happened to meet them we're going to go see them in the park.
Yeah, we're going to go meet them in the park. And that's what we did.
And it was the strangest thing. We got there earlier.
We got there quite early, and I was so nervous. I was just sitting in the car, absolutely terrified, because you don't know what to do. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you act around these children that you want to be your children, but they don't know who we are?
Yeah.
And
there's other people around.
There's loads of other families around, because it's a beautiful day here in North Wales. Loads of people out in the park. You know, how do you even start with this? It was so nerve-wracking, wasn't it? So their social worker saw us in the car park and came up to us in the car with one of the girls.
As we were getting out.
As we were getting out of the car.
Because we were like, we could see them, they could see us.
Yes, we were like, what do we do? So yeah, and it was a bit weird at first, wasn't it? Like we didn't really know how to act or what to do, or you know, but it just kind of progressed really naturally, didn't it? Yeah. So we went and got some ice cream, went for a little walk while they ate their ice creams, and then we went to the park and just played.
And it just built in it from the walk back.
Yeah. It just
So
built.
one of them, like, as we were walking back, one of them, like, grabbed my hand.
Yeah.
Because we were walking behind everyone. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I was
we
like,
just...
oh.
Yeah.
What
do I do? And yeah, it was just amazing, wasn't it? We just got to play with them in the park. I mean, they ran us ragged. Like, I'm knackered now. My back's going to kill me in the morning. This is why people have kids in their 20s, not their 40s. Oh, God, I'm 40 now. He's like, you're 40 next week. It's fine. But yeah, so we just played. We were able to take photos. Obviously, we can't share those photos. But we were able to take some pictures with them. And by the end of it, they were running up to us, weren't they? And, you know, we were
dragging us around,
going down slides with us. One of them was pushing me on the swings. It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was so good. It took the littler one a bit longer to warm up to us, I think.
Yeah.
She's quite guarded. So they're 5 and 2 now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So the little one's a little bit more guarded, but she did warm up to us in the end, didn't she? We were able to pick her up and stuff and give her coochies. And then the older one, I think, will go with anyone who will give her the attention. And who... You're right there.
Yep.
Yeah, she'll go with anyone who
That's going to be
wants to play with her. So we're nearly done.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll go with anyone who wants to play with her and have fun and stuff. So that's where we're at now. Yeah. Obviously, we were worried that if this didn't go well or the chemistry wasn't there...
Don't know what to expect.
You don't know. But thankfully, it was better than I think we ever could have hoped for. It was amazing, and we've proper fallen in love with these girls, haven't we? And we just want them to come home. We just want them to come home.
I think if we'd given the choice, we would have taken them today.
Yeah, we would have just bundled in the car and gone, but I think that would have looked bad. Right, sorry if we've changed positions, but I had to change the battery on the camera. So, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, done the meeting with the girls today. There's a couple more milestones to go before we can officially say that they are going to be ours.
Yeah. First one is tomorrow.
First one is tomorrow's.
We're not involved in.
Nothing. Unfortunately, we don't get any involvement in this one. So
I think Ellie does.
No.
Is Ellie not?
No, Ellie doesn't go to this one. So tomorrow is the internal matching meeting. So it's the girls' social workers, family finder, foster carer, teachers, medical practitioners, all get together. Nothing to do with us. We don't get any involvement in it. Our social worker doesn't get any involvement in it. And they basically have a meeting about us and the girls, and whether they want to officially make this a match.
Yeah.
Which we've already been told that it is going to be a match. So we're not worried about it at all. I mean, it's still obviously nerve-wracking that something could come up that says no, but hopefully it won't.
Yep.
And from then we go to the official panel. Yeah. So that is where everyone gets together. Us, our social worker, their social worker, everyone.
Panel.
For another panel, similar to our approval panel, is to a matching panel. So thankfully it will be up here, not down there.
Yeah.
We won't have to go down to Cardiff again.
But it's more, does the match work? Does the plan work?
It's more, does the transition, is everything in place for the transition more than are we able to take on these kids kind of thing? Because that decision's pretty much been made already. Yeah. So it's more about, is the transition plan in place and is everything working? And once we've done that, we go into what is called introductions.
Yeah.
So introductions are, it's the transition period basically. Yeah. So we'll start, it can take 2 weeks is the minimum, but it can be extended if needs be. So it will start the first week with us going over to the foster carer's house for maybe an hour the first day.
Yeah, maybe for lunch.
Maybe for lunch. Then the next day we might go for breakfast or, wake up time. And then towards the end of the week, we'll be there all day doing get up
for a bit.
Yeah, wake up to bedtime routine. And then the following week, it kind of reverses and they'll be over with us.
For a lot of the day.
For a lot of the day. They'll go back to the foster carers. And it's basically, as we increase our time with them, the foster carers' time reduces with them. So that by the end of the transition period, they stay with us.
Yeah, the foster parent just goes,
bye.
Bye-bye, and walks away.
Yeah, and they stay with us. And that's it. They're ours.
Which we're hoping is not going to happen. We're quite keen to keep the foster parent.
Yeah, we think she's lovely, and
Yeah.
I think we're going to really need her support, because obviously she knows these girls inside and out, doesn't she? So we're going to really need her support and her guidance. So we're not going to cut ties with her.
No.
I think she's going to become like our rock. So that's when they become ours, and then we have to wait 10 weeks.
Minimum of 10 weeks.
Minimum of 10 weeks before we can petition the court for the adoption order. And it won't be until the adoption order is granted that they are officially ours.
So in between, there's three-way parental responsibility, three-way PR.
Yeah, so we have a form, once they're placed with us, we have a form of parental responsibility, but so do social services, and so do their birth parents.
Ours is very minimal. Ours is more there for emergency sort of stuff.
Yeah, but anything major would have to go through the social worker and the birth parents, which is a bit frustrating.
Like, we can't go and get their ears pierced.
No. We wouldn't.
We wouldn't. But
Right
we
away,
can't go to get their ear pierced, but we can say, you can take their appendix out.
Yeah, if it's an emergency thing. At any point from now on, the birth parents can contest the adoption. So as far as I'm aware, they have now been told that a family has been found for their girls.
And it's going ahead.
And it's going ahead. So they can contest. They get 3 weeks from when the adoption is agreed at the panel, the adoption panel, the matching panel, sorry. They have 3 weeks from when that's officially agreed by the agency decision maker to file at the court.
Papers with the court.
File papers with the court to contest the adoption. If they do that, the process stops.
Yep.
We can still see the girls.
I don't think we can.
I think we can still see the girls. We just can't undertake any meetings or anything. I don't know.
I thought it was the other way. I thought we could still have meetings with the teachers and stuff.
I'm not sure, but basically,
nothing can be seen to be done to favour us.
To favour us in that time. So obviously that could put a long delay on it, because we all know how backed up the courts are and stuff. Whether they do it or not, I don't know.
I think we've been told to expect them say they will.
We've been told to expect that they're not going to be happy about it, that they might put up a bit of a fight, but whether they actually get the papers into the court is another question, because obviously they have to find a solicitor and it costs money and stuff, and so we'll see. There's no chance they will win.
Nope.
At court. Absolutely no chance at all. But it would put a delay on it. But if that doesn't happen, we are looking at starting introductions mid to end of June, aren't we? So sort of, we in theory should have these girls by the summer, and we will be a family of 4.
And there is another thing that we've sort of mentioned is sometimes when you go through the process stuff, they tell you about meeting the birth parents.
Oh yes.
It's something that you're encouraged to do.
Yeah.
The social workers, like all the way through, they've been saying how important it is to do it. How
in all the training we've had and stuff, you need to be open. Yeah.
You know, you might not feel comfortable, but it's an important thing to do. We're not
meeting the birth parents.
Through our choice. That's
we've said we were open to it. We have been advised that it is in no one's interest to meet the birth parents. It will not help anyone. It will not be a positive experience for anyone. So, under no circumstances are we meeting the birth parents, which is kind of reassuring to us, because we don't really want to meet them, if I'm honest.
I think it'd be a hard thing to do.
It's a difficult thing to do for anyone, and I hold fair play to any adoptive parents out there who have done it.
And if it's the right thing to do,
and again, if it's the right thing to do, for your children, that's what you've got to put in at first.
And that's what we said going wrong was, if we need to, as uncomfortable as it might be for us, then if it's what we need to do for the kids, then
it's the best thing to do for the child or children, then we would do it. But thankfully, we're not doing it. But yeah, I can't think of anything else really.
No, but we thought we'd better tell you, because we're going on holiday in a week, and there might be some talk about
we are going.
Kids.
We've got a trip coming up in less than a week. We're going to Orlando for a few days. No parks, just chilling for a few days, and then we're doing a transatlantic cruise on the Disney Fantasy from Orlando to Barcelona, and it's going to be our last, touch wood, adults only holiday for a very, very long time. we are going to have children in tow
Yeah.
in the future. So yeah, just think, you know.
Because I think was it on the last transatlantic we said we're going to kidnap our nieces and take them.
That's not happening
now.
No, that's not happening now. We are going on holiday with our nieces, but it's not going to be a cruise.
No.
But yeah, so that's our exciting life update. It's crazy. Obviously, if you've got any questions, we've tried to do this as quick as possible. It's still probably going to be like an hour long.
Yeah.
We've tried to make this as succinct as possible.
It.
There is a lot. It's a very difficult process. If you are interested or you want to know more about adoption or just ask questions about our experience, then please do get in touch. You can ask in the comments or you can contact on social media. I do check my social media. I don't post a lot on my social media, but I do check it. And also I'd like to apologise to anyone who's left comments on the Alaska vlog that I haven't answered. It's been a crazy couple of months.
And this is why. We've not stopped, have we, since?
No, this has been all-consuming, plus everything else going on with work and family and stuff. It's been an all-consuming couple of years, which is why I've been really rubbish. So Emma and John, you're welcome. I'm really sorry. I know you've left comments on every single one of my vlogs and I haven't answered them, and I'm really sorry. It's on my list of things to do. But it's like an ever-growing list. Keep trying to get to it, but yeah.
But now we need to go and get the house.
Yeah, we now need to finish the house because we've sort of started, but we've got a long way to go. We've got a lot of stuff to get rid of to make space because obviously all our stuff is spread out over 4 bedrooms and now we've only got 1 bedroom.
And that's the thing, you don't know what kids you're going to get when you start the process.
No, we didn't know if we were going to have 1 or 2 or 3 or...
A he or a she.
He or a she. But yeah, we have 2 beautiful little girls coming our way. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Nothing goes wrong between now and then. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and listening to us waffle on. Like I said, any questions, anything else you want to know, we can direct you as well to lots of really good resources on adoption. So, yeah, let us know. Give us a thumbs up and all that fun stuff. Thanks very much, guys. Have a magical day. We'll see you really soon. Bye.